Hey guys, I know that McCall patterns just dropped today. Today is February the 25th, 2026. Today is hump day, Wednesday, and McCall spring patterns just dropped. And there were about 20 patterns that just dropped, but I am only going to be showing you guys 18 patterns in this drop. Okay, so you guys know I'm gonna keep it adult apparel patterns. Okay, so that means no costume patterns, no kids patterns, no, what you wanna call it, home decor patterns. None of that. It's just all garment patterns. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you guys know what I do. I'm gonna show you guys the pattern comparison as well as ready to wear comparisons that I have already found for you guys. All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and go to my computer and definitely share those patterns with you guys. I do have my laptop right here. So I'm going to be putting it up on the screen because you guys like to see it in big form. So I'm going to be going ahead and doing that for you guys, so you guys can see that as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and I'm going to put it up on the screen and share that with you guys, as well as the ready to wear in any pattern comparisons that I could think of. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it now. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the new McCall's, and Berta did come out, but we'll talk about the Berta style spring 2026 patterns in another video. But this one's just going to be the McCall patterns that just dropped for spring 2026. Now, these patterns range from $86.49 to $86.68. Now, I'm just going to keep it adult patterns in this video. But first, let's talk about the sales that's going on right now. Right now, they have Simplicity Patterns $5.99. This sales goes all the way up until next Wednesday, the 4th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are looking at any Simplicity patterns that you may have missed during the last sale, during President's Day sale, you could pick up you some Simplicity patterns for $5.99. All right, so that's what we have going on right now. But we are going to take a dive into the McCall's Fresh Spring Picks that just dropped today. This is February the 25th. Hump day. So let's go ahead and dive right on into the new McCall's collection, starting off with $86.49. So the first pattern is $86.49. All of these are McCall patterns, so I'm just going to tell the number from here on out. So this is a midi dress with sleeve and length variations. Most of the patterns are PDF and paper format, so I'm not going to tell that from here on out, unless it's just paper format. All right, I'm just going to show, but they are PDF and paper format. Now, in terms of the size, it's two pattern envelopes, 6-16 and 14-24. This is a fit and flare mid-knee or mid-length dress. It has lined bodice with the empire seam stitched to the bias cut. It has an 8-panel skirt. It has a bodice, have the deep front V-neck, a scoop back. It has a back invisible zipper closure, and then the dress can be made with voluminous puff sleeves if you want that. It's gathered onto a straight sleeve lining support with a back neck tie. It also has a wide elasticated shoulder strap if you want that detail as well. Now, looking at the line art, it does remind me of another pattern that came out, I want to say last spring in 2025. We'll get there. So from the photos, you are looking at a medium weight linen woven stripe is what the model is wearing. Some of the fabric suggestions will be your challis, chambray, cotton type, just to name a few there. You're going to need some interfacing for this. This is an average to sew pattern. I actually like the way that they styled the model. I am going to be picking this pattern up. I like view B, what the model is wearing. However, I will chop it up to the knees just for my liking. I just feel like that's a little too long for me because I'm only 5'6", all right? But I do like this dress for sure. If you are wanting to make view C, which is this view right here, this would be great for summertime. So I could see this pattern being transitioned from spring to summer as well. Here's the back view. I like how they really styled this model. Let's go ahead and look at the notions. So in terms of notions for all views, you're going to need a 14-inch invisible zipper. And then if you are doing view C for the sleeves, you're going to need that elastic to go around the sleeves. All right. But let's go ahead and talk about what it looks like ready to wear. So Cloth Boutique, the dress is $120. If you want to use Shop Pay, you could do $30 for interest-free installments for $30. They still have extra small, medium, and large, but we sell, so we're just going to go ahead and get the $86.49, get some fabric, and pay roughly about $30 for the dress, all right, and make it up yourself, and you are winning by saving you $90. You're welcome, okay? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But this is the exact same dress. Now in this dress, they used a cotton poplin, so I would suggest using the same fabric, even though it's not a suggested fabric. You can use whatever fabric that you want as long as it's woven, all right? And it says the materials here was 100% cotton. That's these materials that they suggest in $86.49 as well. All right. So that's what we have right there. So yeah, let's look at the pattern pieces. So in terms of pattern pieces for this one, not many pattern pieces, to be honest, a total of 15 pattern pieces. But if you go down and look at how many pattern pieces that you need in order to construct each view, you need roughly about 12 to 13 pattern pieces for view A, B, or C. Just go ahead and look at the pattern pieces in order to see which pattern pieces you need for this pattern. All right. Now, I did mention that it reminds me of a pattern from last year, 2025, and that pattern is 3096. It has the puff sleeves. It's very similar to this one. The only difference is it doesn't have the panels. All right. So it reminds me of the puff sleeves. It reminds me of the V neck, you know, that it has going on. Just the midsection is a little different. It has some ties in the back. The length is pretty much the same, you know, so if you did not sew 3096 last year, it may be an option and it may be a good comparison to see if you like that one versus this one. It could be a battle war pattern to do both. I'm just saying, you don't have to, but I'm just saying it would be a good kind of like the battle. You know what I'm saying? So yes, 3096 is a very similar pattern to McCall's 8649. That would be a good battle royal. All right, but let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next pattern is 8650. This is a Mrs. Ruffle petite ruffle neck midi dress. It comes in the same format as we mentioned before. It comes in two pattern envelopes, 8 to 16 and 16 to 24. This is a dress with a line fitted bodice with front and back princess seams, back zipper, scoop front and back neckline, with the self fabric ruffles. Now they can be made sleeveless or with a line cap sleeve, full paneled skirt gathered to the bodice, as well as seams positioned slightly below the waistline. Now, the dress also includes side seam pockets and can be made in a mid-knee or a midi length. It depends on which option you want in terms of length. All right. Now the model is wearing a cotton sateen for this one. In terms of fabric suggestions, you could use a challis, chambray, cotton types, lightweight sateen, linen types, just to name a few. It is an average to sew here. Now, in terms of what the model is wearing, bring it up a little bit so you can see it. This is what the model's wearing. Now, to be honest, that ruffle around the neck is cute for those who likes all that ruffles around your neck. I'm going to be honest. I like the dress. I just do not like the ruffles around my neck, but that's just my opinion. But I think it's cute. Now, one thing I will mention from the line art, let me go to the line art. It looks like the zipper is not an invisible zipper. It looks like the zipper is an exposed or all-purpose zipper. Now, I'm going to show you from the back of the dress that the model is wearing. So from the back of the dress, just to make it a little bit bigger. You could see that this is an all-purpose zipper instead of an exposed zipper. So, I mean, if you want a invisible zipper, you can do that, but this one looks like they are going to show you in the instructions how to do a all-purpose zipper. Now, you guys know that these instructions is not the best, okay? Because y'all know I'm y'all pattern enabler in your instruction decoder, okay? So it's not going to walk you through how to do it, but I'm just going to tell you that the instruction is going to tell you to use an all-purpose all-purpose zipper. All right, let's go ahead and look at the ready to wear. Okay, so I did find that they have it a very similar, it's not the same thing, very similar at Saks Fifth Avenue. It's very similar. It's not the same thing, but it's very similar. This dress right here. Now, this is $120. It is a pentuck waist midi dress, in a butter yellow. Okay. Now, they still have a couple of sizes still available, a size 0, a size 6, a size 10, and a size 12. If you are wanting to buy this for $120, but like I said, we sell, so we want to save a lot of coins in 2026. So just sew it together, okay? If you want that ruffles, you want it sleeveless, I'm just trying to save you some coins in 2026. Let's go ahead and move over to the pattern pieces. All right. So in terms of the pattern pieces, you guys, all right, I did see that the pattern pieces was a little much. It's 14 pattern pieces total, but if you are looking to do view A, you're looking about 13 pattern pieces, view B, the same 13 pattern pieces, and view C, about 14 pattern pieces. So not terrible, but you know, lots of pattern pieces, just to be honest with you. But once again, this is $86.50. Moving over to the next one is $86.51. Now this does remind me of a pattern. I couldn't think of the pattern number, but once I tell you what it reminds me of, you guys could drop it in the description, not the description, the comment section below underneath my pinned comment. All right. But this is $86.51. This is a Mrs. and Mrs. Petite drop waist mini dress. All right. So it comes in 2 pattern envelopes, 6 to 14 and 14 to 22. Now this is an unlined drop waist mini dress. It's fitted through the bodice, fitted through the bodice or bust, and has a round neckline, cut-in shoulders, a bust dart, and bias ruffles. Now the back is a button closure and purchase bias armhole facing for both view A and view B. Now view A is a dress that is sleeveless, and then view B dress has the armhole ruffles that you see from the line art, and then view C dress has a below elbow length sleeve with a ruffle, as you see from the line art here. Now, I know you're wondering like, yo, it has buttons in the back. And I'm going to show you from the instructions that you're going to need someone to help you button this dress up. Okay. I already looked at the instructions. You're going to need someone that's going to help you to button it up because it is a button placket. Okay. It is not one of those fake buttons like we had in like Vogue. I think it was Vogue 8711 or something like that, or 9711. I know Brittany J. Jones made that, and it was kind of like a fake button type thing just for decorations, and you could just do it by yourself. But this one, you're going to need someone to help you put it on. Now, the fabric that the model is wearing is a cotton print for that one. So I like what the model is wearing here. This dress right here reminds me of a pattern that I did, McCall's 8053. I did it on live. I have a video. I'll put it up on the screen so you're able to see it, but I'll also drop it in the description box below to that video if you are wanting to know about 8053. All right. Now, also with this one, it does remind me of a pattern. It's like Simplicity 85 or 8413 or something like that. I'm going to try to find the actual pattern number. It is super old. It is a Cynthia Rowley pattern or whatnot. I can't think of the pattern directly off my head. I know it's an out of print pattern and it was hard to try to figure out the number, but if you remember the number, it's a lady with a blue dress on. It's a drop waist dress. It has like pin tucks at the front of the dress. I can't think of the number, but it's a Cynthia Rowley Simplicity pattern. If you know what I'm talking about, drop it in the comment section below to help us other sew is out. All right. Now this is the easy to sew pattern. Like I mentioned, some of the fabric suggestion would be your challis, your crepe, gingham, lawn, linen blends, poplin, just to name a few. Let's talk about the notions. So in terms of the notions, all views A, B, or C, you're going to need 6 3/4 inch buttons and a pack of single fold bias tape. All right. Now let's talk about, let me get over to what this, pattern remind me of ready to wear. All right. So in terms of ready to wear, I did see this on Mayer, and Mayer has this out of print. It is $88. It is a princess highway Gracie dress for $88. And as you can see, it's out of print, of course, but we sew. So you can use several different patterns, hack some sleeves, put some ruffles on, put ruffles at the bottom. This is like a basic shirt. Extend the shirt pattern that you want. Double up the ruffle, right? Ruffles at the sleeve, ruffle at the bottom, you're good to go. Mimi even did a pattern. I think it's New Look 6511. She showed you how to do that. Take some sleeves, you're good to go. You could do that pattern. You could even do this pattern and get the same effect, okay? But yeah, this is the Gracie dress, $88, save you some coins, and do it for the half the cost. Not even half the cost, like a fourth of the cost, $24. Yes, ma'am. All right, that's winning. Once again, let's go ahead and talk about the pattern pieces. Okay, so 9 pattern pieces, not bad. Total, okay? If you're doing view A, is 6 pattern pieces. If you are doing view B, you're looking at 7 pattern pieces. If you are doing view C, you're looking at 9 pattern pieces. Now, I want to get to the instructions for instruction number 21. It's the buttons. Like I showed you before, in terms of the buttonholes, you're going to need help, okay? Putting it on. All right. So I want to help you button it up in the back. All right. But once again, this is 86.51. Let's go ahead and get on over to the next pattern, which is 86.52. Now, 86.52 is a Laura Ashley pattern. It is a Mrs. High Yoke dress in 2 lengths by Laura Ashley. Now, this is dressed as a flared and ruffle skirt stitched to the line yoked bodice. All right. Now this includes a short puff sleeves with elastic and ruffles, a band collar, back zippers, the whole shebang, right? It is midi knee length dress. It has lace trimmed yoke, sleeve ruffles, lower skirt ruffles. It has everything that you could think of. The maxi length, you can use 1 or 2 different fabrics of your choice. The single fabric dress has the lace trimmed yoke and sleeve ruffles, while the 2 fabric dress has the contrast collar, the yoke side, front, and back, the sleeve ruffles, and the upper skirt ruffles. What they're talking about, the 2 different fabrics, that's view C. The 1 fabric, they're talking about view A and view B, just so you don't get confused. All right. In terms of the fabrics in the photos, they're using cotton fabric, basically. Now, some of the fabric suggestions from the photo, or I'm going to say just to use for the dress, any type of woven fabric, your challis, your cotton types, your eyelet, your lightweight linen, just to name a few there. This is an average to sew pattern, for Laura Ashley. Now, they say this, Laura Ashley's been making patterns since 1953. That's a long time, y'all. So this reminds me of a vintage pattern. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not picking this pattern up. I didn't kind of mention which ones I was picking up, but I'll mention that at the very end. Yeah, I'm not going to pick this pattern up, but let's go ahead and talk about the notions. In terms of notions, you need a 22-inch exposed zipper and some elastic. And if you are doing the trim, you're going to need some lace for that. All right. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Let's talk about the pattern pieces. So in terms of the pattern pieces, total, you're going to need 14 pattern pieces for this one. And no matter which view you're doing, you're going to need all the pattern pieces for this one. All right. Once again, this is 86.52. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one. Next up is, of course, a wedding gown, and it's 86.53. Now, this is a Mrs. A Woman strapless wedding gown. It comes in 2 pattern envelopes, 10 to 20 and 18W to 28W. Now, this is a lined strapless wedding dress. It's close fitting through the bust and waist. It features boning, princess seam bodice, invisible back zipper, side seam pockets, a full skirt underlined with organza, sides puffed out with a stay made from a stiff netting, and then the skirt hem is finished with a horsehair braid for added structure. Now, the dress has a high side front slit and a train at the back. Now, when you look at view A, it has a straight neckline with a bias band, and then view B dress has the sweetheart neckline. All right, as you can see from the line art here as well. All right, now this is an average to sew pattern, and from the photos, they are using a polyester satin for the dress. All right. In terms of the fabric suggestion, you could use a brocade, a mikado, a satin, just to name a few. You're going to need some organza for the underlining, going to need some interfacing, and then for the skirt stay, as they mentioned, you're going to need some netting. This is an average to sew pattern, as you could see why. It's a wedding dress, okay? So it's not going to be an easy pattern for a wedding dress. I don't expect that to be, all right? But yeah, of course, now you guys know, ready to wear. Where do you think that I saw this dress? We'll get there, but let's talk about the notions. In terms of the notions, you're going to need a 14-inch invisible zipper. You're going to need some boning for, structure for sure at the bust. You're going to need some ribbon for hanging straps. You're going to need some silicone gripper tape. You're going to need all of that. Hook and eye closures. You're going to need some horsehair braid. You're going to need all of those things. All right. Now, y'all know I'm not getting married. I'm one and done, y'all. I'm over 20 years at this point. I'm one and done when it comes to wedding, but my daughter may be getting married in the near future. I'm not thinking about it right now because she's only 15, but it would be great to pick up this pattern for future state. Okay, not for current state, future state. Okay, we will see, but it has to be a good price for me to pick it up, right? Now, let's go ahead and look at David Bridal. Y'all already know David Bridal has this one. It is a strapless pointed sweetheart satin ball gown. Now, I'm just gonna be real with y'all. We probably go buy the dress instead of make the dress. I'm just gonna be honest. This is $1,000. Okay, put it on a payment plan with Sizzle. Okay, and pay $250 for a payment of about $249.75. Okay, with David Bridal. Whew, that's a lot of money. All right. So this is what it looks like at David Bridal. And then, of course, our lovely friend Amazon have the strapless one, as you can see right here, for $43.99, which is more like an engagement dress. All right. Let's look at the pattern pieces. In terms of the pattern pieces, 12 pattern pieces total. No matter which view that you're doing, you're going to need all 12 pattern pieces. For that. Now, if you're doing a view A, you don't need all 12 pattern pieces, but make sure that you're looking at the pattern pieces that you're going to need for whichever view that you're doing. Once again, it's 86.53. Moving over to the next pattern, it's 86.54. So 86.54 is a woman's maxi dress with scarf. And it comes in two pattern envelopes, 10 to 20 and 18W to 28W. It is a bias cut sleeveless dress with shape screaming for a close fit through the bust and waist and flared hem. Now, both views features a V neckline, a narrow shoulder strap, and invisible back zippers. Narrow scarf is finished with a narrow hem. All right. Now, the fabric in the photo for view A is a viscose chiffon, and then the view B dress is a polyester lace. Some of the fabric suggestions would be chiffon, lace, lawn, just to name a few. Underlining is the crepe de chine, polyester lining as well. In terms of the sewing skill level would be average to sew. Here's the line art, and it reminds me of a Vogue pattern. And that Vogue pattern is Vogue 8814. This one. And when I saw the line art, I was like, it reminds me of a pattern that I already have in my stash, and that's Vogue 8814. And this is the drop waist dress. Now, you can't really see from that line art right there, but it reminds me very much so of this pattern right here. Now, it's not the exact same, but the front really reminds me of the same thing. All right, let's go ahead and get back to 8654. Okay, so the front seems to be pretty much the same, or the back, I should say, pretty much the same or whatever. But looking at the pattern in more details, right? Let me zoom it in so you can see that. So this is view A, and then this is view B. Now, I like view B, just to be 100% honest, but I have 8814. I haven't done that pattern yet. I don't know if I would pick up this pattern, just to be 100% honest, but let's go ahead and look at the notions. In terms of the notions, view A and view B, you're going to need 2 packs of single fold bias tape. For view A, you're going to need a 16-inch invisible zipper. If you are doing the missus size, 18-inch zipper if you are doing the woman size. For view A, you're going to need a 5/8" buttons. For view B, you're going to need a 12-inch invisible zipper for the missus size and a 14-inch invisible zipper if you are doing the woman sizes. All right. But that's what you're going to need in terms of notions. All right. Let's look at the pattern pieces. So in terms of the pattern pieces, for view A, it's 10 pattern pieces. And then for view B, you're going to need the same amount, about 9 pattern pieces for view B. All right. So not completely bad in terms of how many pattern pieces you're going to need in order to construct this nice, lovely dress. But I think I'm going to skip out on this pattern for sure. All right. Once again, it is 8654. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next pattern is 8655. 8655 is a missus trench coat in 3 lengths with an optional hood. Now this one comes in 2 pattern envelopes, 10-16 and 16-22. I will be picking this pattern up. It is a button front trench coat, features a swing silhouette with options for knee, mid cuff, and long length. Its design includes a detachable hood, adjustable sleeve straps, and a wide welt pocket. Now the back is detailed with a decorative tab and button, and then a center back godette adds fullness and movement to the hem. The sleeves are set in with 2-piece construction for shaping, and then the hood is also self-lined. Now, I do like view B, but I would make the length of view A, if that makes sense. Or, I mean, view B length is not bad, but I do want the hood on mine. All right. Now, this is an average to sew pattern. In terms of the fabric that you see in the photo, it is a water-resistant polyester twill in a dark beige. Some of the fabric suggestions would be your cotton blend, your gabardine, your lightweight wool blend, your polyester blend, just to name a few there. You will need some interfacing, which is medium weight fusible interfacing for this one. I like this one. I like this pattern. I am definitely going to be picking up this pattern for sure. I like how what the model is wearing. I think that they did this really good for this one. I like the back here. I think that back is really nice, really dope. Let's look at the notions. So in terms of notions, you're going to need 3/4 inch buttons. You're going to need 10 of those for view A. If you are doing view B or view C, which are the longer views, you're going to need 16 of those. Also for view B and C, you're going to need 2 1/2-inch eyelets with the 3/8 inch opening. 1 3/8 yards of a 1/4 inch cording. That's for you to tighten it up. And then 2 optional 1/4 inch cord stoppers. That's if you want to use the stoppers. Otherwise, you're going to have to tie it into a knot to keep those from going inside your hood. All right. But that's 8655. Now, it looks very similar to this one, view A, like a peacoat. It looks very similar to this $25 or $24.98 if you really put it on the cents, right? It's a long winter coat for a women's plus size, single-breasted wool coat jacket. It's a trendy long sleeve pea coat with pockets. I've seen this one on Amazon. It is very similar to view A on this pattern. Okay, now let's look at the pattern pieces for 8655. Now, in terms of the pattern pieces, it's a total of 21 pattern pieces. I know, it's a lot of pattern pieces. All right, so in terms of view A, you're going to need about 15 pattern pieces. For view B, you're going to need all the pattern pieces. Same goes for view C. 21 and 21. All right. So I'm just going to say, take your time, map out about a good 5 to 7 days in order to create this entire coat. All right. You heard it from me. Map out how you're going to do this coat. Do not try to do it in one sitting. You heard it from me. All right. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next up is 8656. 8656 is a Mrs. and Woman's trench coat. It comes in 2 different pattern options, 10 to 20 and 22 to 32. Now, this is a very loose fitting line cropped trench coat or trench jacket. It has double-breasted front, drop shoulders, side front, inseam pockets, and wide 2-piece sleeves with sleeve tab. Now, View A jacket has contrast upper collar. View A photos. View A has cotton gabardine in green, and then View B has cotton gabardine in the camel. So gabardine fabric is what was used for the photos. Now, some of the fabric suggestions would be your cotton blends, your denim, your gabardine, your poplin, just to name a few there. You're going to need some lightweight fusible interfacing for this as well. I did see this in ready to wear. It is an average to sew pattern here. I like this one in the green, but I also like it in the camel as well. So I do like both of these for sure. Now, it does remind me of Mimi's pattern, which is Simplicity 8890, I think is what it was. Yeah. Where she has a coat that's very similar. I think that's the pattern number, but she has a pattern that's very similar to this one, and it reminds me of that one too. I'll put it up on the screen so you're able to see it here shortly, but it reminds me of that pattern as well. I'll put it up on the screen if they still have it, but it doesn't look like they still have it on the website anymore for you to see that. So it's pretty much similar to this 8890. So it doesn't look like they have it on Simplicity patterns anymore, but I'll try to find it and put it up on the screen. But anyway, when it comes to ready to wear, it looks like it's very similar to this Polo Ralph Lauren pattern, or not pattern, but Nordstrom Ralph Lauren balloon cotton twill trench coat. They have one available in extra small and a few available in the other sizes for almost $500 for $98. And you can see, but you can save you some coins and make it yourself. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. Also, Abercrombie and Fitch also has the green one available for $120. It's on clearance right now for about $60. If you want that one, it's almost gone. They have small to extra large. If you are looking for ready to wear, Abercrombie and Fitch, you could get it there. All right, for about $60. I'm showing you where you could get it at too. All right, let's look at the pattern pieces. So in terms of notions, you're going to need 13 7/8 inch buttons for this one. No matter which view that you do. In terms of the pattern pieces, for both views, you're going to need 14 pattern pieces, just so you know how many pattern pieces you're going to need in order to construct this trench coat. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So in terms of the next pattern is 8657. 8657 is a Mrs. and Woman's Peter Pan collar knit top with sleeve variations. I will be picking this pattern up because I don't care what y'all say. I love button down shirts. It's just a thing for me. All right. Even though I did see that this says knit top, I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one. So let me hold back on this one for just a second. Now, in terms of the pattern envelopes, 2 pattern envelopes, 10 to 20 and 22W to 32W. It is a knit top, features a button front closure, a classic Peter Pan collar, and flattering princess seam. Sleeves are finished with elastic and offered in either a cap or a long sleeve. All right. The photo view A is a stretch knit jacquard in black and white gingham, and then view B is a ponte knit and a black tan camel abstract animal floral print. All right. Fabric suggestion would be stretch knit only. Cotton knit, double knit, ponte knit, just to name a few. They claim that it's easy to sew, but when it's a button down, is it really easy to sew? Yeah, exactly. All right, but this is the line art right here. And just so you can see, they say it is knit fabric is what's used. I'm going to say that I don't think that this is easy to sew. This should probably be an average to sew pattern, but yeah. I'm not the one rating these patterns, so I'm just going to give my opinion, insert opinion here. Average to sew, not easy to sew. Just my opinion. But let's talk about these notions. All right, in terms of notions, A and B, you're going to need 7 buttons, 1/2-inch buttons, that is. And then if you are doing view A, you're going to need some elastic. Either view, you're going to need some elastic for the sleeves. All right, let's talk about ready to wear. In terms of ready to wear, I've seen this at editorial list. If it comes up, it's a Calvin Klein printed relaxed utility button down shirt. Let me try to refresh so you can see. Here we go. Calvin Klein printed relaxed utility shirt. Regular price is $109. They have it at 70% off to get rid of it, y'all. It's $33. All right. Calvin Klein shirt. Yes. All right. That's what it looks like for ready to wear. Now, this one is not made in a knit. Okay. I'm trying to get more details for you on what it's made in. It's made in a polyester. All right. Button down shirt. But this is Calvin Klein. Let's look at the pattern pieces. So in terms of the pattern pieces, total is 12 pattern pieces. Depending on the view, you're going to need 10 pattern pieces for view A. And then for view B, it's going to be the same, 10 pattern pieces total for either view. All right. Once again, it's $86.57. Moving over to the next one is $86.58. I will be picking this pattern up. I like this one, and I've seen something similar to this one. It's $86.58. It comes in 2 pattern envelopes, 6-16 and 16-26. It is a semi-fitted top, have sweetheart neckline, collar band, front button closure, the cutaway front hem, and the shape back with button and D-ring details. All right. View A has contrast. View A and B have short gathered sleeves finished with bias binding. And then view C has your long sleeve with the split cuffs. Now, this is what the line art looks like at the bottom right here. Now, when it comes to the fabric in the photos, it's cotton print. That's what they're using. It is an average to sew pattern. In terms of the fabric suggestions, you can use broadcloth, chambray, cotton, blends, linen, poplin, just to name a few. I like what the model is wearing in view B. There will be a sew along for this pattern. Okay, you could wait for the sew along so you can see the sew along as well. I like this view. I did see something similar to this one. I believe I've seen it on Amazon. I like this entire pairing. Pair it with some shorts, you good to go. They did right by this one, okay? Let's talk about the notions. In terms of notions, 5 5/8-inch buttons, and then you're going to need a D-ring for that back, all right? That's all you're going to need in order to construct this pattern. I also saw this one on Amazon. Okay, I'm sorry to bust people's bubbles, but it's on Amazon for $34.99. Comparison. How much would you spend in order to make this one? Do your comparison, all right? Once again, this is $86.59. Let's go ahead and get over to the pattern pieces, all right? So in terms of the pattern pieces, view A, you're looking at 11 pattern pieces. View B, same thing, 11 pattern pieces. And then view C, you're looking at 13 pattern pieces, all right? So just make sure you look at the pattern pieces and do your research and see how much you're willing to pay in order to make this top. Now I'm going to pick up the pattern. So there we go. All right. But let's go ahead and get over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is $86.59. $86.59 is a Mrs. and Woman's handkerchief hem skirt and tie belt. It comes in 2 pattern envelopes, 10-22 and 20W to 32W. The handkerchief hem skirt cut cross grain. It has a invisible side seam zipper. View A skirt sits about 1 inch below the waist and is finished with a baby hem. View B skirt sits at natural waist with a waistband. It has stitch hem with the corners and matching belt with thread loops to hold in place. Now, view A skirt is in cotton print and view B is in cotton twill. 2 different fabrics, you guys. And then it's mentioned as easy to sew. It does remind me of a pattern that I already have in my stash. It's Simplicity pattern, 16 something. But in terms of the fabric suggestions, it is cotton blends, crepe, light to medium weight wovens, just to name a few. You can even use denim if you choose. It is easy to sew. I think I did mention that already, but yeah, I think I'm going to skip out on this pattern. I have something already similar to this. In terms of the notions, you need 1 7-inch invisible zipper. View B, you need 1 12-inch invisible zipper. Okay. But yeah, $86.59. Let's look at the pattern pieces. In terms of the pattern pieces, for view A, 5 pattern pieces, and then view B, same thing, 5 pattern pieces. So total of 9 pattern pieces, but you're going to need 5 pattern pieces no matter which view that you do. All right. Once again, it's $86.59. Moving over to the next one, $86.60. I will be picking this pattern up. It is a Mrs. Shorts and Jean pattern. It comes in 2 pattern envelopes, 8 to 16 and 18 to 26. Now, the only view that I like is view C. I'm not interested in the ruffle duffle thing that's going on at the side, but let's talk about it. Short and jean pattern is semi-fitted through the hips, sit 1 inch below the waist. It have contour waistband with button closure, fly front zipper, side front pockets, side front seams, back yoke, and belt loops. View A and View B have hip ruffles, which I'm not interested in, y'all. View C has back patch pockets as well. In the photos, it's denim, all right? I have some black denim that I purchased from Fine Fabrics. In terms of the skill level, it's average to sew. The fabric suggestions would be cotton blend, medium weight denim, twill, just to name a few there. This is what it looks like. Now, I'm not interested in view A or view B. View C, yeah. Now, I do have a pattern that's very similar to this one. So I'm on the fence if I'm going to pick this one up. It has to be a good price in order for me to pick this pattern up. Let's just be very clear. So this is going to be on my wish list. However, it has to be a good, decent price in order for me to pick it up. I'm not picking this up at $5.99. I'm just saying, if it's $5.99, we go hold until a good, decent price. $4.99 and below. Okay. That's where we at with these patterns this year. Okay. I'm sorry. It got to be under $5. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. But let's look at the pattern itself. All right. The model is nice in this photo, but that's giving me 70s vibe for sure. I'm not liking those hip ruffles at all, but if you like it, do what you do. All right. I'm liking it for you, but I don't know if I like ruffles on my ass. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say that. Okay. But let's look at the notions. Okay. The notions A, B, and C. You need a jean button. You're going to need a 7-inch jean zipper, heavy duty top stitching thread. Those are the things that you're going to need in order to construct this pattern. Now, looking at Amazon, this pattern is $2. Because it's so old, okay? It's $2. So it reminds me of this old school pattern, McCall's 5592. It is Mrs. Flared Pants. Now, this only comes in size 6 through 14. I used to have this pattern. That's why I remember it. I don't think I have it anymore. But if you're looking for this pattern, you could get this one or you could dig it up from your stash if you have this pattern. McCall's 5592. It is very similar to McCall's 8660. Very similar to view C. All right. Now, let's talk about the pattern pieces. So for all views, it's 15 pattern pieces total. But if you are doing view A, you're going to need 14 pattern pieces. View B, you're going to need the same 14 pattern pieces. And then view C, you're going to need all of them. Pretty much all of them. About 13. I'm sorry. 13 pattern pieces. All right. But once again, it's $86.60. Moving over to the next one is $86.61. I will be picking this pattern up. I will, but I won't. I'm going to pick it up for my daughter. I'm just going to be 100% honest. I'm picking it up for my daughter, but it got to be a good price. You get what I'm saying. Mrs. Jumpsuit in 3 lengths. This one is a button front jumpsuit designed in short, cropped, or long length to suit your style. All right. So it has a classic collar, elbow length, bat wing sleeves. It has the waist defines pleats. It also has side seam pockets, perfect for dressing up or down. One piece that moves with you from day to night. All right. So terms of the photos, it's made in a cotton stripe. Some of the fabric suggestions will be your broadcloth, your chambray, your cotton blends, your linen blends, just to name a few. And it is an average to sew pattern. All right. Now, my daughter loved this jumpsuit pattern. She'll live in a jumpsuit. As long as it's baggy or it's a jumpsuit, my daughter is in for it. I like this one, but I like it in view A. Y'all know I'm not a girl who loves a jumpsuit, but I will wear a jumpsuit as long as I'm around the house. All right. Let's go ahead and look at the inside of this pattern. I like what the model is, how they styled the model. So it's not too bad. Now they do have some pleats going on right there. That's what it looks like. Pleats or tucks. Pleats or tucks. Would have to dive more into the instructions to understand that. Notions, 7 1/2-inch buttons is what you're going to need. Not terrible. You're not going to need a lot of notions. But let's look at the ready to wear. In terms of the ready to wear Nuuly, it is a button front crop pleated jumpsuit in a neutral. This is what it looks like. They do have a little bit left for $198, but you know, I'm gonna save my coins and just making it a stripe that I got. I have some stripe fabric, as a matter of fact. I can make this summer, yay, if I really want to, but we'll see what my schedule is looking like. All right, let's go ahead and look at the pattern pieces. So in terms of the pattern pieces for the jumpsuit 8661, it looks like for view A, no matter which view you're doing, you're going to need all 10 pattern pieces. All right. Not bad. All right. But once again, this is 8661. Moving over to the next pattern. Next up is 8662. This is a Mrs. Top and skirt pattern. It comes in 2 pattern envelopes, 6-14 and 16-24. Now, this is an oversized top with collar and neck placket. It has a back yoke extended into like a front shoulder seams and then the front patch pocket at the top. All right. Now, it also features a decorative top stitching on the sleeves and the hems, and it has a back extending 2 inches longer than the front. Now, in terms of the skirt is a pull-on gathered skirt that has a waistband, has 2 deep inverted pocket pleats, elastic casing at the back, the side seam pockets, and a wide hem. The skirt is finished 2 inches above your ankles. All right. So this skirt is a flat front elastic back skirt. We don't really see those much, but it is. Now, in terms of the fabric, it is a cotton poplin is what the model is wearing here. Some of the fabric suggestions would be your broadcloth, your cotton blends, your denim, just to name a few here. It is an average to sew, and it's probably because of the placket that you see on the top. The skirt is pretty much easy to sew, but probably the placket that you see on the top and probably the details, the decorative top stitching on the sleeve is probably why it's an average to sew pattern. All right. I like the top for sure. I'm definitely picking up this pattern. All right. Pretty much for the top. I'm not going to even lie. Probably for the top. The skirt is too long. I would chop that up a little bit. Yeah, definitely. Or make it with some pants. I think that's probably what I would pretty much do. Let's look at the notions. In terms of the notions, you're just going to need some elastic. Boom. What? Elastic only pattern? You heard me. Y'all remember when I put up the elastic only? I'll put those videos in the description box below. You're welcome. All right, let's look at the instructions, or the pattern pieces, I should say. In terms of the pattern pieces, view A, 8 pattern pieces, view B, about 10 pattern pieces. That's it for this pattern. Once again, this is 8622. Let's go ahead and move over. But before I move over to the next pattern, let's look at the ready to wear. Ready to wear symbol from Symbol. And this was in pounds. Now, you would have to convert it from pounds, $498. Don't know what it is in US dollars, but I have it. Let's see. It's not converting it for me for US dollars. It's okay. It's not going to even really make a difference, but it's in pounds, $498, 498 pounds, whatever that converts to US dollars. There you go. But here's what it looks like from Symbol. Okay. That's what it looks like. Pretty much the same thing. All right. But once again, it is 86.62. Let's move over to the next pattern, 86.63. So 86.63 is a Mrs. Lounge tops, shorts, and pant pattern. In terms of sizing, it's 6 to 16 and 16 to 26. It's a relaxed fit shirt with gathered bodice and front shoulder yoke. It features a front and neck collar band with self-spaghetti type closure, drop shoulders, and extra long full sleeves gathered into the cuffs with additional spaghetti tie closure, loose fit, pull-on pants, and shorts with elastic waist. It's finished with a self ruffle at the waistband and then have a side seam pocket, front side seams, and a wide hem facing. Okay, that is a wide hem facing. All right. Some of the fabric suggestions would be your cotton blends, your cotton lawn, your double gauze, just to name a few. It is an average to sew. I like the shorts and the pants on this pattern, just to be honest. I like the shirt, but I don't know if I'm going to pick this pattern up, just to be 100% honest. I'm on the fence, but I do like the shorts and I do like the pants. So this is I don't know yet on this pattern, but I like how they styled the model, just to be honest here. But yeah. Let's look at the notions. The notions is an elastic only. I like those. We like elastic only patterns. Yes, we do. All right, let's look at the pattern pieces. So in terms of the pattern pieces, view A, you're going to need 10 pattern pieces. And then view B, for the shorts, you're going to need 6 pattern pieces. And then view C, you're going to need roughly about 8 pattern pieces. All right. But once again, this is 86.63. Let's move over to the next one, which is 86.64. 86.64 is a unisex short and pant pattern. It is one size fits all. Or one size. I wouldn't say one size fits all. It is a one size pattern, extra small to extra large. It is pull-on pants and shorts. It features a partial elastic and decorative drawstring ties. It's relaxed slouchy fit, utility style cargo pockets, straight legs with defined seaming, and a shaped back yoke. Now, for the man, he's wearing a gray French terry. Both of them's wearing a French terry in the photos. It is a sew along that you're gonna see when you see this QR code. That means a sew along will be provided for this. All right, so just stay tuned for that. In terms of the fabric suggestions, chambray, cotton blend, French terry, just to name a few. Average to sew pattern. This is really nice, but I have a pattern that's very similar to this in a simplicity pattern. All right, so I don't know if I would pick this pattern up, just to be honest here. Okay, this reminds me of a Free People pattern. I'll show you Free People ready to wear in just a second. I'll show you that. But let's talk about the notions. In terms of the notions, the only thing you're going to need is elastic and some twill tape. That's it. All right. Now, in terms of ready to wear, Free People, it's sold out. It reminds me of Free People from Nordstrom. So this is Nordstrom website. Free People, it is their jet set knit wide leg pants. All right, from Free People. I already knew that because I have some similar to this. Okay, so yeah, it's sold out. All right, but let's look at the instructions. So in terms of the instructions for this, view A or view B, it doesn't matter what view that you're doing, you're going to need 13 pattern pieces, with 2 of those pattern pieces being elastic guide for the front and then a elastic guide for the back. All right, and then you have a casing piece as well, front and back casing pieces. So roughly about 10 pattern pieces, just to be honest, but yeah, 9 really. But once again, this is 86.64. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next up is now 86.65. Those were kids patterns, so I skipped over those. Next pattern up is 86.67. 86.67 is a Mrs. Knit dress and top. This is a vintage 1970s pattern. This is back from the archive. It's a reproduction pattern. I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of this from this pattern because it's a reproduction pattern. From the 1970s, it's basically a mistress dress and top pattern for unboned stretchable knit. It's very cute. Dress or top with a zipper in the back. Opening has forward and extended shoulder line and collar. Tie belt included in the front. Band seams are drawn through the thread loop. So there's a thread loop there. View A, view B, view C has sleeves gathered into the cuff. And then that's what you have there. Okay. It's an average to sew pattern. It's a really cute pattern from the line art. But I'm going to skip out on this pattern just to be 100% honest, because I don't know where I would wear this dress or this top to. The top is cute. But 2 pattern envelopes, 8 to 16 and 18 to 26 on the second pattern envelope. So for my vintage girlies, definitely pattern is for you unless you already have the original pattern. So in terms of the notions, a 22-inch zipper and then stretch lace, which is optional. And then you need 6 snaps. All right. That's what you would need for this one. All right. Now, in terms of the pattern pieces, y'all know that you're going to get the authentic vintage pattern reproduction. The ode, yes, looking at instructions like this, yes, y'all, you have to look at it like this. Just imagine when I do a sew along and I do a vintage pattern and I have to read it like this and share and decode it with you guys. Yeah, it's tough. All right. In terms of the pattern pieces, these are the pattern pieces that you're going to need. So for view A, B, and C, 11. And then if you're doing view D and E, add on 12 and 13. All right. So that's what you're going to need. Now, I want to mention that when you are doing a pattern like this, they're only going to upgrade pretty much this section, like the cutting layout. They do not give you the instructions upgraded. All right. The instructions you will get like the reproduction portion, this part. Okay. If you could see this, this is what you get. All right. You do not get the nice, pretty version like this. No, you don't. When you do a vintage pattern, you get it in the vintage version. Okay. Yeah. So just imagine that. All right. But let's go ahead and move over to the last pattern being 8668. Now, 8668 is a Mrs. skirt and petticoat. All right. So once again, this is a vintage pattern from 1980s. It's a Mrs. skirt and petticoat pattern, skirt A, B, and C, and 2 lengths. It has a shaped button front yoke with seaming and gathered skirt with side seam pockets. Now, skirt C has the attached petticoat. It has a self fabric button, straps tucked, and a gathered ruffle at the lower edge. Of course, y'all know it's reproduction pattern. All right. Now, in terms of the fabric suggestions, cotton blends, chambray, just to name a few. Skirt B and C can be made in cotton flannel, denim, lightweight wool, just to name a few there. It is an average to sew. Now, I like this pattern, but I like it for view B. I do not like it with the petticoat. I would not do it with the petticoat. I would just do it regular. Okay. Now, I like this one. I like the yoke. I think what draws me to this pattern is the yoke. I'm going to put it on my wish list. Don't know if I would get it, but it needs to be on my wish list for now. All right. But let's talk about the notion. In terms of the notions, a small hook and eye closure. For view A and view B, 5 half-inch buttons, and then view C, you're going to need 6 half-inch buttons, and of course, you're going to need some scallop flat lace or eyelets for the petticoat. All right, but let's go ahead and look at the instructions, of course, in terms of the pattern pieces. You're going to need some pattern pieces, okay? You're going to need about 10 pattern pieces just for all views. And then if you're doing view C, you're going to need the extra 4 pattern pieces to make 14, all right? And in terms of the instructions, like I mentioned just previously, this is how you get your instructions, okay? Yeah, interesting, right? All right, so those are your entire instructions, yeah. All right, you guys, so there you have it. Those are all 18 patterns that, well, the entire 20, but I'm only sharing 18 patterns with you. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy. Let me know in the comments which patterns that you are going to be picking up or that you're most interested in. Drop it in the comment section below. Okay, well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If this video was educational, inspiring, and fun, you guys already know what to do. Give me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Stay tuned for my next video as I'm going to be styling and profiling for stash to wardrobe, earn the damn hanger, because y'all ready to see what your girl did with Simplicity 9644. So stay tuned for that video as well. And as always, keep going, keep sewing, and definitely keep growing. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.